So, Spurs, welcome back to Budz. We're going to hit you with that San Antonio Spurs talk right out the gate. So, you guys know the San Antonio Spurs were the second seed in the Western Conference, made it all the way to the NBA Finals, ultimately lost in a gentleman's sweep. And when you, as a whole, as a basketball fan, when you think about the games, the Spurs really should have been NBA champions. When you think about how the games went, obviously we know the New York Knicks won. But the Spurs had a double-digit lead in every single game of the NBA Finals. Even almost had basically a 30-point lead as well in a game in the Finals. And
in Game 4, they had a 29-point lead. The Spurs did and lost it, which was the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history. The Knicks did. They win it by one.
They win it by one off a nice OG Anunoby tip. I guess the question now becomes: this team is young, very young. Can they get back? And I think the obvious answer would be yes, but you got to think about it. OKC took 20 years to get back after they got there. Damn near. You know, it took them.
Well, that's a little bit different.
They got rid of everybody.
I mean, when you think about like OKC, that young core got there, and then I think they had one more run. I think after they got there with James Harden, KD, and Westbrook before they shipped James Harden off.
Yeah,
and then they just never made it back with the Westbrook KD combo.
Yeah.
But that's completely different, in my opinion, when you look at the Spurs team.
Yeah.
You have a young Wemby, you have a young Harper, you have a young Castle, and you have a young core of guards and forwards around Wemby.
Yeah.
They just won 62 games this year.
They did.
They just won it, and they just defeated.
And they were battle tested. They
just defeated the previous champions in OKC.
Yep. Right.
Which was the biggest test in the Western Conference Finals, and honestly, to me, the roster is sound and it's fine unless you get some pretty enticing for Fox that makes sense, that can make this roster better long term or immediate. Nothing that's kind of this could kind of sort of help. None of that really helps because Fox kind of sort of helps. Fox was a humongous disappointment for this young roster. He was supposed to be the mentor. He was supposed to.
And we're not talking about just Fox. We're talking about the whole playoff
in totality. But from the Kings to the Spurs, his points dropped 10 by 10.
Yeah,
which is a humongous drop off. So I don't know if.
And Brandon, what have you always said about a big man? He needs a great guard.
A big man needs
a great guard was
supposed to be Fox, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was a young Harper, and it was a young Castle. Granted, Harper played out of his mind.
He did.
And obviously, the rumors and talks about said that he was upset with the minutes. Well, you're not wrong. What I'm saying is that run the roster back, but the coach gotta go. You can't win 94% of the minutes and lose in 5. You can't have a 29-point lead in Madison Square Garden in New York and lose. Everyone wants to say, well, it's a young head coach. Is he really? That's the question. Age-wise? Sure. But he's been in charge for 3 years. He has the staff that has.
And Greg Popovich is still right there.
And no one's going to tell me that Popovich and him didn't sit down and recap every single game.
But then that's the question we got to ask ourselves. Did he listen to Pop?
Well, clearly.
That's my question. Did he listen to Pop?
Clearly no. Or maybe he did, and this was the outcome. Because again, Popovich, he did cough up a series or a championship to that Miami Heat
team by taking Tim Duncan out in a crucial possession.
So Pop just isn't perfect.
No.
But Pop has made mistakes. So and maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But in my mind, coach gotta go. I don't know who you're replacing him with, but you gotta go. You can't take a 62-win team that is a young team. And granted, this was the first time the coach was there, but you got the staff. You have the people in your head to help. And you still win 92, 94% of the minutes, and you lose it in 5.
I think about Mitch Johnson, I think he got... I personally think he didn't listen to Popovich. I think Popovich maybe told him to go with Harper, and he stuck with the Max guy and Fox, and it didn't work. Fox may... But I think people forget this, too. When you think about De'Aaron Fox, phenomenal player, fast guy, can get to his spot. But when you go back and look at Fox's career, he's made actually crucial mistakes in crucial games. and this even going back to his college days, made crucial mistake that cost his team a game.
Almost just back to the Kings.
Kings
when he had Max Brown
or Mike Brown when he was in San Antonio.
Yeah, when he was with
or
the
sorry,
Kings.
not San Antonio, Sacramento Kings. Jesus Christ,
Lordy, you just could have left with the Kings. You'd have been fine.
Yep. So it just, I think,
which brings in Fox's IQ level is not as a veteran where it needs to be.
No, it's not.
Because even though they both 20-point lead, stuck with Fox still chased down the loose ball that
you should have known you were up, and he knew you were up one.
Well, he knew it was up, but he thought, well, I outran OG. I mean, you did, but you
didn't
still had
dunk
to
it.
stop and gather the ball, and you went up, and the 2-minute report came back and said it was a clean block. Like, people were like, well, people like put up that picture. That was after the block. That was after he blocked.
Yeah, it was after the block.
And so, again, this shows, like, your mindset. Even the W, like 2 days later, Angel Reese had a loose ball and she pulled it out.
Aaliyah Boston, same thing, pulled it out. They understood.
Like, that's just like so fundamental. Like, I'm up, it's late, pull it out. If I get fouled, I go to the line, knock them down.
I
and
do
we break
think
from there. But to me, that's still on the coaching staff. Like, the coaching staff has to have reprimand.
Yeah, you have to. The Spurs are in a great spot, but also in a very tough spot as well because you have the Fox, the coaching staff. You have to really consider looking at and thinking about some things personally.
Well, if you go on the Knicks train, this is their third head coach in the past 3 years, and exact same roster, and they finally won a chip. So being aggressive like this and firing your head coach isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Even when you take your personal, because even when they fired two, we thought, man, that's kind of crazy. But Mike Brown did this. He did.
Well, Mike D'Antoni, the writing was on the wall for him. Like, you didn't use your bench at all.
Tibbs didn't use the bench.
Yeah, sorry, Tibbs.
Yeah, Tibbs didn't use the bench. It was all about a 6-7 man rotation. I'm not using the bench, guys. We're gonna ride my.
Writing was kind of on the wall that dug his starting five into the ground. But all that said, with us though, I think the new Spurs, they do run it back as a whole. But I think if the coaching staff is worth their salt, the coaching staff's on the hot seat for me, in my opinion, going into this season, going into the 2026 season, to figure out how to use Fox correctly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know because, like, I was saying, well, Fox is fast. You got to go. Well, they go. Wemby runs offensively. I'm getting
out there.
Like, if it's a quick three, dog, I'm still coming. Like, I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll be there. If it's attacking the rim, Wemby's like, I'm 7'5", 6". I'm 8 foot tall, guys. I'll be there. Just put it up.
Put it up.
And I'll clean up the board. Like, Wemby got to get better. Council, Vassell, Harper, they all will be better. Like, they're so young. And we'll see improvement stats-wise.
When it comes to that roster, you say running back. So, Wemby's obviously safe.
But Wemby got to get better.
safe.
Got to get better.
Harper's safe.
Got to get better.
Is Vassell safe?
Yeah, he's safe.
Is Champagne safe?
Yeah, he's safe.
So those 5 guys,
those are all safe. Like the whole core got to be safe. What they do need
backup centers.
They need just a bruiser.
They need a backup center. I think a backup forward too.
Honestly, they won't happen. But like, bringing Boogie to back up Wemby and to give him, because like they're kind of like offensively.
Spurs do have the 20th pick
like
in the NBA
Boogie
draft.
Backing him up and teaching him for a whole season, being that vet in his head. Kind of nasty. Boogie's game and Wemby's game kind of really can mesh. Boogie had a post. Boogie had a handles. So DeMarcus Cousins there with him, and he can be a beast and hold down the paint and grab boards. That's what I would like. So the biggest question is just Fox.
It's Fox. Fox is the biggest question. What do you do with him now that his contract is now kicking into effect over the next 4 years?
It's just nice that you're not paying nobody but him.
Yeah, but now the real conversation gets into Wemby. Wemby lost in the finals. Now, the biggest thing that Jordan Fanatics out there, he can't be the GOAT no more. He can't be considered because he lost. He didn't win the finals. And Jordan fans are very adamant. Jordan was 6-0 in the finals, so that's the GOAT. And if that's your logic, cool. If that's the way you go about it, I still think Wemby has a chance to be mentioned among the greats. Now, to be the GOAT is tough because he is over 7 feet tall, and those guys just don't last very long in this league. But when you think about what he's done in 3 years, his first year, Rookie of the Year, second team Defensive Player of the Year, first team All Defense, second year, All-Star, obviously had the blood clot, didn't qualify for any awards, which was unfortunate because he would have probably been
got the Defensive Player of the Year.
And then third year, he was third in MVP voting, unanimous defensive player of the year, all-star, all-NBA first team, defensive first team. So, like, what he's been able to accomplish in 3 years has been spectacular, taking this team to the finals. But it showed maybe Wemby doesn't need to be working with Jamal Crawford. You need to be working with maybe Tim Duncan, a Boogie Cousins, Akeem Olajuwon, or maybe call up Kareem. Teach me the sky hook, please. You're 8, like you said. Who's stopping Wemby with a sky hook? How you guarding that? Like,
I don't know. I think it's crazy that people are already trying to say what Giannis, or not Giannis, but Wemby's out of the GOAT conversation. What Jordan do the first 6 years of his career in the league?
We're talking about a 22-year-old that led his first team to a final.
But Jordan got bounced the first 4 to 6 years. He got bounced in the first round in the East.
Jordan fans need to accept that Jordan did not accomplish anything until the greats that were in front of him got old and fizzled out. And that is just facts.
I guess the whole thing is Wemby's 22.
He's 22 years old.
When Braun got there, Braun was
22 years old.
23 years old.
Kobe,
Jordan didn't get there until he was 26.
He was 7 years in.
It took him 7 years to get there. It took Wemby 1 full season to get there. It took Braun 4 seasons to get there. That in itself is an accomplishment. Wemby had to go through a defending champ. Jordan didn't have to necessarily go through a defending champ on multiple of his titles runs. He got bounced in the first round by those elites. That said, I don't think you need all those championships or be undefeated in the chip game because, again, it's just not a one-man show.
Because the championship is a team accomplishment at the end of the day. Charles Barkley didn't have a championship, but his accomplishments, what he did as a player was far more, what he was able to do as a big man, unheard of in his era.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the odds when Wemby's all said and done, out of an all-time great positionless, where do you think? What's the odds he's in the top 5 all-time great when Wemby's said and done?
Top 5 all-time?
Top 5 all-time.
I think he's got a...
What's the odds of that on a scale of 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I would say 6. I would go with 6.
Yeah. And what's the scale of him considering power forward center? We mushed them together that he's considered a top 5 big man all time. Because old time positionless, you got him like a 6, which is 60% chance. Let's go 1 to 10. What's the odds he's ranked a top 5 big man all time? Power forward centers combined, because obviously.
I think when it's all said and done, I think there's a chance that Wemby could be the 4th greatest power forward center of all time.
All right, guys, you heard it here first on Budz. Budz, 60% chance to be top 5 in, 80% chance?
80% chance.
That he could be a number 4 best big man of all time.
4 big man.